What is quoting? It is using an author or speaker's exact words in your own work, typically in a paper or presentation. Now there are two types, short and long. MLA rules require you to place them in your paper in different ways. We'll start here by discussing short quotes. Here's a short quote by Benjamin Franklin you might consider using in a paper. According to MLA rules, a short quote must contain fewer than 4 lines of prose or text, as you see in this Ben Franklin example. Be incorporated into the text of your paper. That is, there is no special spacing or indenting for short quotes. Quotation marks surround the quote and it should be double spaced. It should reference the author and page number, if available, in parentheses right after the quote, as well as reference the source in the work cited. This helps the reader know where you obtained the quote so they could find it themselves directly and or read more from the source if they so desire. Punctuation marks such as periods, commas, and semicolons should appear after the parenthetical citation, that is, after the final parentheses. Even if the quote ended in a period, you simply move the period from behind the last word of the quote to behind the second parentheses. Now there are different ways stylistically to include the quote in your paper, either by simply placing the text in quotation marks as you see above, or you can introduce the quote at the beginning using your own words, as you see in the second example. Benjamin Franklin once mentioned that while his life has been happy, comma, those are my own words, in quotation marks is the quote, and then at the end you see the page number from the source from which the quote was obtained referenced. Now, I don't need to place Franklin within those parentheses in this situation. Why not? That's right, because I've introduced the quote with the author. So the reader of this passage realizes that Franklin is the author, and they will go to the F's for Franklin in the works cited to locate the source of the quote. Now, what if we have a short quote we want to use that has no author or page number? How do we reference it in the paper in a parenthetical citation, that is, using parentheses? What you do is consider how you will be placing it in your works cited page, and use the information provided at the beginning of the citation, usually a few words from the title of an article, website, or book, as it is formatted. In this case, the quote came from a web page entitled Quotation Details. This allows the reader to easily find the source of the quote in the work cited. Notice again here there is no punctuation placed within the parentheses. Instead, the period is placed after the second parentheses. And if there is no page number, you skip it. Now there are many more details involving quotes. If you have further questions, you can refer to the MLA Handbook or a quality online website such as Purdue OWL to answer such questions. Now it's time to complete a few review questions to make sure you understand the concepts presented here on short quotes and to prepare you for the final quiz. So exit out of the video and continue on to the next slide.